How's it going? Do you feel the vibes today? All right, we are talking about self-respect because this summer season is all about self-respect, baby. I'm reading this book. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics, The Search for Self-Respect, and we just went over two enemies to self-respect, which is uncertainty, so those underlying feelings of anxiety, guilt, self-condemnation, just those negative, pulling, uncertain feelings. And then I shared some of my personal stories and experiences with that. And then we also went on to read about resentment. A lot of the examples in the book that he was using was when there was the children growing up with parents that didn't really treat them right. They had a lot of resentment, and then as they got older with their children, with their spouses, they would project that and like dump that resentment onto them and treat them poorly, etc. And then now we are on to the third enemy of self-respect, which is, come here, let me tell you what it is. Emptiness. 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 Have you ever felt just empty? Have you ever felt like when you had achieved something, or when you were in the middle of working towards something, or when you got up in your day, when you rose out of bed, you just felt like directionless and a little lost and a little like, what's the meaning? Like, what's the point of all of this? I've definitely had experiences of feeling empty as well. And so actually this past September, I hit one of my goals for my business. And when I saw the number in my back office, I was like, that's cool. But like, what's the point? Like, yes, there's point. Yes, there's point. Yes, there's a point. Yes, I'm making an impact. But what does this number really mean? Like, okay, now I have this goal accomplished. Now it's like, still that seeking energy of like, okay, and, you know? I want to read you some of these I wants. I'm going to read you some of the key points that I highlighted in this chapter, and if something resonates with you, let me know what it is, because I definitely resonated with a lot of this. But let's get started. Let us learn about your third enemy, emptiness. Perhaps it is man's greatest enemy these days. Because of my extensive travels and lectures, I talk to a pretty fair cross-section of people. Not everyone can articulate what is bothering him, but a common thread runs through what I hear. Many people today suffer from a constant sense of incompleteness, of non-being, of what I would call emptiness. This may seem strange to you, that in a land of material plenty, in an era which economic indexes herald as a time of unparalleled prosperity, so many people should feel so empty, that living as we do, well-fed, well-clothed, whisking around in cars and jets, so many people should feel an internal lack. That in an era of rising personal incomes, rising savings, and rising participation and ownership of such tangibles as shares of stock, so many people should wonder who they are and spend their days in a fruitless and often bizarre identity. And yet it is so. Too many people have passively withdrawn from life and from themselves, cut themselves off from the glow of their creative powers, and turn their eyes towards externals in an effort to fill the void of their emptiness, such as seeking to erase this inner lack by turning to alcohol or drugs, or indulging in excesses of food or entertainment, or trying to identify with the lives of celebrities. That's definitely something that I used to do, like binge watching TV shows, binge eating, both binge watching and binge eating at the same time. I'm like trying to fill this void of what? Like, it was just this void filler. Okay. But this is not the way to take away emptiness. In the final analysis, you must give yourself substance, and you must overcome your sense of emptiness yourself. This is your responsibility to yourself, your joy in doing, your sense of accomplishment when you succeed. Further, we must rebuild ourselves from the ground up so that our foundations are strong. Insight is our window, inner peace our furniture, and the excitement of our goals the fuel for heating. Thus, we build ourselves up, become strong persons, and overcome the despair of emptiness. This empty feeling, this bad feeling, you cannot win over it until you learn to live today, in the present, to forgive yourself for what is not your fault, to set goals for today. I love that. Actually, a common theme of what he's said in here, he gives examples of when he coaches people, and a lot of the time, the coaching usually ends up of him reminding people to bring themselves back to the present moment, to forgive the past, and to live in the today, and to set goals for the today, which has been a very helpful practice for me when I am replaying events of the past and holding on to it, and setting goals to like erase the past. It's just, it is empty. It's not fulfilling. It's a mind trap. It's a constant hamster wheel in my brain. But once I bring myself back to the now, once I remember that the now exists, and that the things, yes, that I had experienced them in the past, but do they have an attachment to me in the now? Or is there this freedom that I can find in the now? Very helpful, very, 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 very helpful for me. Okay. It goes on to say, some people think that they feel empty because they are not married, but this need not be so. Some people think that they feel empty because they have no children. This need not be so. Others believe that their emptiness stems from the fact that they are not overwhelming successes in their work, but this need not be so. You create your own feeling of emptiness to a great degree, and you must be responsible and accept responsibility for overcoming it. Too many people wish they were somebody else. When you wake up in the morning, do you say to yourself, if I only had $1 million? Sometimes I do. I'm like, that could get me out of a lot of crap right now. If only I had $1 million. Give it to me. And the universe is like, there's some skills you have to build, my darling. There's some things you have to learn, my darling. And I'm like, $1 million? And the universe is like, you are $1 million. When you wake up in the morning, do you say to yourself, if I only had $1 million? I hope not. Because if you do, you are licked before you start. You are rejecting yourself as you are, leaving yourself empty and unfulfilled. Or perhaps you say to yourself, if only I were a beautiful Hollywood actress. Again, I hope not. I might add, I have known beautiful Hollywood actresses who wish that they were somebody else too. Or maybe you think, if only I was 20 years younger. You were 20 years younger once. What did you do with your youth when you had it? Stop wishing you were somebody else and start enjoying the unique privilege of being yourself. Wishing is an evasion. It leads you only to despair. Another thing that I've noticed in this book is he always talks about, like, literally stop wishing you were somebody else. Stop wishing you had another experience. Stop wishing this and this and this and this, and just accept yourself in the present moment, in the now. Like, get some self-respect, girl. Like, this book is speaking to me. I wonder if it's speaking to you too. If this book is speaking to you, let me know. Let's have a conversation, because this is so good. He goes on to saying that there are 5 ways to vanquish, to completely obliterate and destroy emptiness. Emptiness is here one moment. Well, emptiness is not here in the next. 1, stop sleepwalking. Stop doing things half-heartedly. I love that. I love that. That's been a thing too. It's like, I feel like most of my life, I've been doing things like half-heartedly, like, like have, you know, I'm a good student, so I can take this test and just, you know, pass, you know, get like a B or an A. But like when I've really put my full into this one thing, then I get like a A++. I get like a gold star. I get like, when I put my full attention into one single laser focused thing to grow, then it's like miraculous. Like, I'm literally such a G. But when I have like a half-hearted, and I feel purposeful and I feel fulfilled, but when I have like a half-hearted way of doing things, then I feel unfulfilled and empty, because it feels like I'm like only doing this thing to just get it done, check mark it off my to-do list, and then on to the next. And it's always that, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. But now that I've shifted into a space of, okay, let's clean with intention, let's lift with intention, let's create this video with intention, let's be in the now, fully present with whatever we're doing, it's a game changer. You should try it. Okay, so next thing we move on to is more ways to vanquish emptiness. Number 3, renew your sense of direction, because you cannot go around in endless circles. So renew your sense of direction, because you cannot go around in endless circles. If you do this, obviously you get a listless, aimless, indifferent kind of feeling about your life. I love this. How many times have I said this? I love it. I love it all. From doing some inner work and digging deeper into when I feel that sense of like aimlessness or misdirection, or when I feel like something's missing, or when I feel like lost. Like, I wake up and I'm like, okay, I have all this time, but like, what? Having a sense of order and a sense of direction, and coming back to my paper and thinking about like, okay, what is it that I really want to do? What is it that I really want to accomplish? What is it that I see for myself happening every single day? What is it that, you know, I can set an intention with and follow it? What are these principles of my life? What are my values? And becoming more clear and more clear and more clear helps so much. The other day I woke up and I felt like directionless. I was like, why do I feel like this? I just feel like my thoughts are just lost. I feel like I don't have, my thoughts aren't running on a train track. I literally sat down before the gym. I was like, okay, get back to my principles. What are the principles that I want to base my thoughts on? So by determining my principles, determining my goals, determining my intentions, by resetting that, by reminding myself of what it is that I want to do here, that helped form the track for my thought train to choo-choo on, okay? And it helped so much. So if you feel like that, renew your sense of direction by journaling is very helpful. By having a conversation with somebody is that, having a conversation with somebody that has accomplished what it is you're looking to accomplish. Don't have a conversation with somebody that doesn't have the results that you want. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend. If they haven't accomplished something or if they don't have the results that you want, don't. Because the track that their train is running on is not going in the direction that you want to go. So you need to adopt the direction of the train track from somebody whose train track went in the direction that you want to go in. So having mentors really helped. That's something that I've learned past 3 years in entrepreneurship. Okay, let's move on. Number 4, enrich your self-image. When you have a good opinion of yourself, when you use your imagination to when you use your imagination productively, you enrich your self-image and you dissolve the empty negative feeling you have about yourself. So what I do to really enrich my self-image is I like to journal about how it is that I would like to see myself. Journaling is like my number one go-to for everything. Okay, it helps. Journaling what it is that I really want to see about myself, how I want to carry myself, how I want to operate, how I want to speak, how I want to present, how I want to look, I just enrich my self-image and I point out my successes. What are the things that I've been good at? What are the things that I've been intentional with? What are the things that I'm just like, I've noticed myself being amazing at? Just fueling that self-image with positivity. It's miraculous to say the least, but we're done. We're done with looking at the 3 enemies of self-respect: uncertainty, resentment, and emptiness. How was this episode? I actually had a lot of fun filming this episode today. When I first got out here and started filming this, I felt like, I'll play a little clip. I will literally play a clip from that. You know, it's throwing me off right now. It's because I'm facing this direction where it feels like if anybody looked out of their window, they would be able to see me talking, and it's just like throwing me off. And then I took a break because I had to hop on a call with somebody, and then I came back out here and I just feel great. So anyway, that is emptiness today. Let me know if any of our stories relate. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. I know it's summer, so the sun's out and you want to like be in the vibe, but something that has really helped me is if I don't have time to like sit down and watch a video, I love playing some personal development while I'm at the gym. Love it. Love my gym workouts because I'm just like listening, you know, I'm getting a nice pump to this guy talking like this about self-respect, you know. It's great. I love it. So since the sun's out, if you want to enjoy some juicy mind growing things, plug in some AirPods and sit by the pool and continue to join me on this journey of discovering ourselves at a deeper, more meaningful level. So yeah, if you want to be friends, let's connect. Best way to connect with me is on Instagram at @TheMeganRoberts, and I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Bye.